Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy Aries from Aries Gamer Productions, and today, um, I actually have a more positive stream than my last stream. Last stream was my Greedfall review, and I was super fucking depressed. And I'm also doing the drug stream because I am recovering from a massive toothache that I actually have from going to the dentist. But so it's gonna be a very entertaining, fun stream. But I also have my boy Professor Diehard here.
What's going on?
Yeah. So if you guys get the chance, Professor Diehard has been playing a small game called Borderlands 3 that I watched
Very small game.
Part of it the other day, and that was super hot fire. So always, if you like my channel, go ahead and support his, because we all in this together. But
once we know who we are, dude, I low key I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid.
oh, dude, High School
I
Musical?
don't even care. I don't even care what anyone says.
I never fucked with the, I never
wasn't-
no, I never fucked with the movie, but I fucked with the music though, for real.
Sure. I
but
definitely did both.
So what you're probably all wondering if you're watching this video is like, okay, what the fuck is this game? This actually, I ended up playing, and I never really streamed the first game, and I wish I kind of did because I really enjoyed the first game. This is actually yeah, believe it or not, a Digimon game that's actually good. They were historically known for being terrible, and if you actually played some of the old Digimon games, they were god-awful. I played some of them, and I never wanted to touch another Digimon game until I saw the first game that came out for PS4, which was an actual PSP game that got ported over and was kind of introduced into high res, which was Digimon Cyber Sleuth, or Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And so the first game is basically, you know, you are kind of a mixture of what happens when you cross the internet with an actual avatar human, and you kind of get trapped between those two. You go on and meet people, capture the Digimon, evolve them, de-digivolve them, evolve them again into more stronger forms, fight the final boss. Basically, that was it. Well, this game is actually the sequel to Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. It's called Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hackers Memory, which is a mouthful.
God.
Yeah, and which is a purely Japanese way of saying play the sequel. But the idea of the game is basically that the events that you're going through, your character in this, you'll actually see like the little, you know, little snippets of what you actually missed from the previous game, because your character will come in basically to clean up the first character's mess that you make in the first game. So you'll actually see your avatar from the first game run off after he beats the boss from the first game, and then your character actually comes in and gets into like the really like nitty-gritty of the story actually from the first game. And it's actually really interesting. If you play the first game and you play this one, you'll know exactly what's going on. There's no like big there's not really too many spoilers at the very beginning. There's not really a whole lot of like things that you're going to automatically recognize, besides the towns, of course. But you'll actually know exactly what's going on. So it's a very good introduction into coming from the first game into the second game. It's spectacular. The amount of Digimon you can capture, of course, is maxed out. They have, I think, everybody up to until the new season, from what I understand, of Digimon that they're going to release here in a couple of months. From actually what I read from the people who are covering the mangas right now. I also did that last night. I stayed up way too late and read some of that for this game. But
You read the manga, you said?
I read the first Digimon manga. I did not read,
Nice.
Cause it was it used to be on the old Shonen Jump like little things that used to come across, but it was never. I don't think it was ever Shonen. I think it was just an actual like manga that come up. But they did the one for the original one, the action that came on like Jetix They used to come on. We were just talking about this actually. We were just talking about Jetix. So they used to come on. The original Digimon used to come on Jetix and would come on there for a good bit. So I ended up watching that. There's only a couple of anime that I've actually read manga pages and manga chapters for. One was Digimon, one was Naruto, and the other is DBZ. Those are the only 3 manga that I've ever read. And which I don't think you actually even knew that, Dai. I don't know if ever.
Which
actually,
one?
Those the only 3 anime that I've ever read the manga for, somewhat.
I didn't know that actually. No.
Yeah, it was Digimon, Naruto, and DBZ. Those are the only ones I've ever read. I didn't even read Dragon Ball. I just read DBZ.
So I had a massive boss fight, so I got a little distracted.
Yeah, but I say he's like, oh, hey, where Princess Diehard go? Oh, he's stuck up somebody's ass. But
Literally.
yeah. So cool thing, an area that we are right now. This area is not actually accessible in the very beginning of the game. It's the same way in the original Cyber Sleuth. This is called the Digilab. And there are 4 little panels that you can choose from right here. Actually 6 if you count the online and offline modes. So first one, we basically got the Poke Center. If you played Pokemon, this game is very similar to it.
That's copyright.
Yeah,
That's copyright.
Gosh, yeah, but freaking Game Freak's gonna shut my video down now. But so you basically have over here, you have the Recovery Center, which is basically if you're running out of SP, which is your special attacks, and your HP, your just regular hit points like any RPG ever. Then you can recover him. You actually have to spend money to heal your Digimon.
I just tuned in, by the way.
Oh, nice. So right here, of course, you know, my guys are full health, so there's no need for this. So here we are. You actually have a farm. You have a Digimon farm where you can actually go and look at your guys on the farm and what they're doing. So, you know, most of these guys will just be kind of running around and, you know, kind of playing around on the farm. There's actually a portion of them that will have assignments that you can give. So if we do like a command, we actually have train, so you can enhance your Digimon. You can improve the ability of a Digimon depending on its personality and which Digimon is set as the leader. So you're each which is crazy in the detail that's actually in this game. Each of your Digimon has a personality. So they either are builders, fighters, scientists, technicians, or you know, I think one of them is like speech. So one of them can like actually be able to talk very well, which is very anime. You know, it combines a lot of the aspects of the anime with that. Development, so you can actually invest in items. I'm actually going to be doing that in a video once I actually get one of my Digimon actually leveled up to what I want it to be, because I'm about to do a crazy EXP farm that's gonna blow your fucking socks off. It basically you get you basically get whatever you want in the game after you do the XP farm. Which in a JRPG like this, considering this game is actually very hard to beat, you actually want to abuse the EXP system in this game. You want to abuse the shit out of it. And the game encourages you to do it, because it lets you build whatever you want to do, for whether you want to attach a certain amount of items to a Digimon or not. Like, you can do it. And so I might do a video on that. There's a USB, it's called a USB Tactician, where you actually put in a fucking computer drive into the Digimon, and you can actually level up extremely fast. So we're probably gonna end up doing that eventually. Investigate. Your Digimon can actually do cases for you. You're basically a detective in this game, and your Digimon can actually find extra cases for you to solve and get your rank up, which is what you want to do, because it increases your party memory, your Digifarm abilities, increases your. You can actually have more than one farm. You can have up to 5 farms, I think. which increases your capacity for Digimon like all the more, and it makes it crazy. So you can also do a change your leader. So Digimon on the farm island need a leader. So you can change the leader of the farm using the change leader function. The results of your training, development, and investigations carried out in the island will depend changing on the leader's personality. So of course, if you have somebody that's a defender, it'll increase the Digimon defense that they gain. Searcher, brainy, fighter, all that sort of stuff kind of corresponds to that. So we really kind of have lively, fighter, nimble, searcher. So not really a whole lot of stuff going on, but we also have farm goods, which is what the exploit that I'm going to be using later on once I actually get my Digimon to kind of higher up. But so 2 types of items are used in expanding a farm island. Farm development kit, increase the number of islands, max 5. This will allow you to keep a greater number of Digimon and increase the rank of an island. This will increase the number of locations where you can place farm goods. So basically we can do a farm expansion, but we actually cannot do it yet. But I also do kind of like the thing. You can go in here and feed them. Yes, you can actually feed them. You can toss them meat and stuff, and they'll gain levels or they'll gain abilities from just being on the farm. So we actually have a couple of pretty high level ones. There's a fucking monster man right there. I don't know if you're looking at that die. Look at this fucking.
Oh, good God!
Look at that
the
fucking
red one?
beast. Yeah. So the best thing about it, you can actually look at their stats. Of course, I already told you about most of my. I didn't say it on stream, but most of the Digimon that I have are actually champion level. He's the only other champion that I have that's not actually in my party. And so of course he looks like a fucking nasty ass bastard, but he is there, and but of course you got you got a little cutie right here. You got the little kind of little cat. Got a little ghost little boy over here, hopping around.
Can you name your Digimon?
Yep, you can, because you can actually.
Can you name? What have you named yours?
I've actually not named mine. I am historically bad about naming mine because I come up with some pretty dirty ass names.
You should name one of them Dai, and you should also name one Ramirez.
Oh my God. Well, you know what?
Ramirez.
Well, our buddy Ramirez caught a lot of shit recently, and this is how much shit he did catch.
Ramirez! Get the fuck down!
Ramirez, get the f off the roof!
Good kills, Hunter 2-1, good kills. Ramirez! Take your team and secure the Burger Town.
Dude, Modern Warfare 2's story is no joke.
Oh, Modern Warfare 2, 1, 2, and 3 had great stories. Like, honestly, people thought that Modern Warfare 3's story would be really lackluster, but I don't think it really was. I think Modern Warfare 3's story mode was fantastic.
I completely agree. Freaking,
especially what happens to actual main characters in the Modern Warfare series.
I like how you can go back to the original one. You can do a time paradox.
Yes, yeah.
And blast that rock apart. Terrible idea. Was I talking to you?
Just what the hell are you?
Somebody who doesn't want to be bothered.
And that's what I told him. I said, when he wants to talk, he'll talk, right?
Don't hold your breath. Look, they're the best at what they do. So am I. And I'm not so optimistic. The fate of the planet is in the hands of a bunch of retards I wouldn't trust with a potato gun.
Who's this?
David.
Is this from Saints Row?
That was from Armageddon.
Huh.
He was the one of the generals in Armageddon. But thought we'd do the intervention on the Ramirez stuff, but
we always do an intervention here and there, you know.
So what my Digimon are looking like, so we have what I actually started out with my starter, which was, who ended up digivolving into a champion, which, is Clockmon. Basically, it actually turned out to be my healer, because I needed it, and he actually deals, he's really good because he does a fixed damage, which is really rare in the game. Usually, like, you have, like, certain resistances and stuff like that. Some Digimon have fixed damage, which means that no matter what your defense is, or what your attribute is, you just get hit with the damage, which is really good. Anytime you just ignore armor, or ignore defenses, you're godlike. So that Digimon is actually super good. We have our boy Gold Numemon, which he was fucking boss because he has a special ability where he increases the money you earn in battle, so you can just basically just keep farming with him to get money if you really need it. We also have one. This is what I was saying to you about Dai, the one that looks like a badass Triceratops looking dude. Zuba Eagermon.
Oh, the one before that looked like the alien from Parasite, the Maxim. But, sorry. That one.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah.
Is it Ichi or whatever his name is? I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
So we got this guy right here, who's Zuba Eagermon, and so I guess just to give you an idea of like how you actually go about doing the evolutions. So right now, like we're looking at Quackmon, like we can see that I actually have some Digivolutions available to me, but I kind of don't really want them right now because I actually want to level them up a little bit more, get a stronger Digimon that can do it. So the actual one that I start out with was this rock looking one called Gatsumon, and that was the Digimon that I started out with, essentially. That was my starter Digimon that I got at the beginning of the game. So digivolving that over to Quackmon, over to this, will still get you, pretty good thing, but I actually have to, what this game kind of doesn't tell you, which is kind of sad, but you will figure it out eventually, just by kind of looking at it, is that, okay, so your attack stat is not maxed out. He only has a couple more levels until most of his attack stat is actually going to end up being maxed out. So you have to do, you digivolve them back to their weaker form, but their max level increases. So if your max level with your starter is only 15, and you get your champion all the way max level, you digivolve them, their max level goes up, you level them back up again, digivolve them again, and now you get to stay at a Mega Evolution, which is what you're trying to get. You want to get the Mega or the Ultra Evolution Digimon, essentially. That's basically what you're aiming for. So, if you do that, you're basically pretty much set. We also get to see kind of some of mine that I still have here that are getting leveled up on the farm, which is pretty cool. We can actually digivolve one of our Digimon right now, so we're actually going to do that. We are definitely going to do that right now. So Narumon's level, training level 2, the one that looked really cute that we saw on the farm, essentially. But we're gonna get her into a cuter form because we're gonna digivolve. Looking at this, yeet! Digital monster Digimon are the champion. So boom, we actually have a cute little Lunamon here. Pretty adorable, but fuck him, let him die. The one that we're really trying to get upgraded, that I'm going to actually show a video on eventually, is going to be my party Digimon, actually. Which is this guy right here, the one that you said looked like the one from the little parasite thing or whatever. Oh. So the Digimon name is actually Gold Numemon. And so the skill is actually an SS class. It's called Millionaire, and it increases the yen, or the money that you earn during battle. Well, another thing that the game doesn't kind of really tell you is that it has a really, really solid Mega Evolution, and it's called Platinum Numemon. So basically the skill of that Digimon is basically it just increases EXP earned in battle. However, the only bad thing about the creation of these games is that they didn't scale the EXP earning that you get from combining Platinum Numemon with any other type of item. And there's an item in the game called a Tactician USB, like a USB drive that you put in a computer. And essentially what happens is, like, the Tactician USB already increases the amount of EXP you earn. You attach it to a Digimon that already increases your EXP that you earn in a fight, and you basically have a recipe for unlimited EXP earning. And it gets really dumb. Like, if you go into a really high level dungeon or fight with a Platinum Numemon with a Tactician USB, you're probably... I've seen people that had that digivolved into their Mega Evolutions and Ultra Evolutions, and they went from level 1 to level 50 in one fight. That's busted. Broken as fuck, actually, is what that actually is. But I mean, it's a JRPG. I mean, there's bound to be some kind of EXP exploit, but
Persona 5 had a really bad one.
yeah, I saw that one.
You
That's
can max
actually
your yeah.
that's just ridiculous.
It's nuts.
This one, I mean, you actually have to put some effort into the beginning of the game to actually earn a Platinum Numemon, which is what I'm doing right now, so I can kind of abuse the system a little bit earlier. But again, that's just because I actually really like the first game. I didn't find out about that until the end part of the first game, and I was super pissed off. But there are videos on it, you know, kind of a ton of stuff like that. So you actually have a shop here at the stuff as well. You do another EXP stuff, and the thing that we're going to be buying, at least, is a developer know-how, and that's how we're going to get the Tactician USB stuff. So that's going to be pretty useful later on once we do that. You have another area over here where you can do a dungeon. Unfortunately, I'm not too far in this story mode where I actually have access to dungeons. And of course, in the Digilab, you can do online battles. So if, like, Dai actually gets the game and I wanted to fight him, I could send him a network battle request, and, you know, he'll get fucking wrecked, of course, but, you know, because he's a bitch, but he'll basically just have that invite sent over to him. And the best thing about it is that he can choose to accept or decline it. He doesn't actually, like, it doesn't just pop up on his thing and stay there. So if I actually
knowing how much I hate you, I can just totally ignore it. And it's super nice. Helps me out in the long run.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So, but without further ado, because I know I've been explaining that we've been in Digilab for too long, but let's get to some action here a little bit. Just
action-packed gameplay.
Let's show the combat off a little bit, because that's what we have not been doing. So, of course, you get the kind of the Sword Art Online, the Link Start thing right there at the very beginning.
Oh god, you got me a Link Start.
Yeah. So we're gonna go over to actually go over to the financial institutions, because it's a little bit harder enemies right here, where I just won't delete everything in my path. So, fun fact, your party actually is visible. So you get to kind of walk around with your guys here. You know, there's kind of following you around. I actually didn't know that all my party actually has gold on them. I just now realized that, which is kind of fucking weird. So another thing, you actually have hacking skills in this game. So if you can do a basically just like some kind of like computer skills, you can do a wall crack, which is where you like basically bypass a firewall, and you can do
break
that.
your mama's back.
You can analyze and encrypt data. You can copy and paste data over to like certain characteristics. You can actually do a stealth option. You can make yourself transparent, which means you'll actually bypass other people in the area. If like you do like a Pokemon, like a gym leader battle or something like that, you can do that. You can make and delete floors of your own, which means you can create alternative paths. You can actually turn. It even gives you the ability to turn the power in the facility on and off. So you can actually do that. You have a restoration skill, repair broken objects. We can actually increase our movement speed too, which is what we're going to do. It's very useful. So we move a lot quicker. So let's see if we'll probably end up getting to a fight here in a little bit. I would like to think so, unless we're just not going to get into a fight. Possibly. Really? Well, we're not going to get into a fight? What the fuck? There we go. Okay.
Question mark.
Wait. So, if in case it might have been a little bit too fast right there, but every time you fight a Digimon out in the wild, or if you fighting another person, you'll scan it. Once you have 100% scan, you can clone the Digimon in your Digilab. So if you really like one that you're like, oh man, that one looks super fucking cool, I want to, try to get that one up as much as I can. Then Draver,
you're playing God, Aries. You're playing God. The things you should be messing with.
We have controlled time and space. Like it's literally too good. But so essentially, what'll happen like with those, even though they're kind of they look kind of like puny. They're kind of level, training 2 Digimon. They're not rookies or even champion level. But you can still scan them, level them up, and then, kind of start your own leveling process of getting the Digimon that you can see right here that I have, because it took me a little bit to get to even these. It won't take me as long once I get Platinum Numemon, because I have the XP, kind of exploit, but there's still a good bit of stuff that you have to do. So of course we have, you can actually guard. If you know your Digimon's going to take damage the next turn, you can't do anything, just tell them to guard and they'll take less. They take half damage. You have your skills, so you basically have stuff that costs your SB, which is special points, and essentially you can do that. Have items, you can use items from the menu. Heal, do a revive in case one of your Digimon faints and you kind of do that. You can change mid-battle with whatever you have in your reserves. Unfortunately for these guys, they really don't stand a chance too much because we can basically just kind of attack. And actually, each Digimon actually has their own unique animation for their signature moves. So, like, if you ever watched the old Digimon, you saw Agumon. Because Agumon's like basically the Pikachu of Digimon. I mean, he's just that popular. So, you could have Agumon, and then you could have him maybe do one of his special attacks. You think, okay, well, it's just fucking Agumon, His evolution won't have anything cool. But then you Digivolve him into Greymon, and he actually has the full animation for his, like, missiles that come out of his chest, essentially. Yeah, this is basically his special move. He just launches missiles out of his chest, essentially. And so you still have those, and each of the Digimon they actually put in the game have their own special animation for their special moves that only they can do. There is no other Digimon that actually has the same special super move as they do. And mind you, there are 300 of these motherfuckers. So that means the development team had to design 300 different moves that actually look good in the game and are loyal to the anime.
Very nice.
So Bandai Namco actually did a great job with that. I mean, you can go watch all the animations on YouTube of all the Ultra and Mega Evolution Digimon for this game, and it's fantastic. I mean, they have it down to kind of a science, to a T. It looks just like the anime. So, I would argue this kind of series actually looks just like the anime before Dragon Ball Fighters did. Dragon Ball Fighters was kind of notorious for doing that, making it look just like the anime. I would argue that Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm did it before everybody else. Because they actually did the animations for each character and their moves. Like, even if you go back and play Naruto's Storm 1, like Ninja Storm 1, you will actually see most of the animation shot for shot for what you actually see in the anime, in the manga, and even the voice acting is pretty similar at that point. And which is why if you play any of the Naruto Storm games, you should play them on Japanese.
Sure,
Don't play them on English. Not that the English cast is bad. I actually sometimes prefer Sasuke's English voice actor, Yuri Lowenthal. I actually sometimes prefer...
I completely agree with that.
I sometimes prefer his voice actor versus the Japanese version. However, that sometimes is for the video games. I do not prefer Yuri during some of the episodes for the anime, because I feel like he does... Sometimes it's over the top, where the Japanese voice acting is just right where it needs to be for like the range, even for Naruto too, because I mean both of the voice actors for Naruto are actually female for English and Japanese dub, but the Japanese dub sounds just kind of more like a mixture of a guy and a girl that actually makes it more believable that he's kind of got a pubescent voice, versus the English you can kind of tell it's a girl, honestly. I mean, but she, needless to say, I mean, I kind of feel bad. I actually forget what her name is. She actually does a really good job. She's probably one of the better English dubbed actors that they have for.
She does Ash. She does Naruto. She does a lot of voices.
She does a ton of them. Like she's fantastic. I mean, the business would be less without her. Honestly, I mean, she's done a fantastic job. It's just like people who did DBZ.
Also, Bart Simpson.
Yeah, but yeah, she does Bart Simpson. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, people feel the same way about like the English dubs for Yu Yu Hakusho and DBZ, Dragon Ball, and Cowboy Bebop, and even Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo.
But
that's what that guy said he watched too. He said he liked Samurai Champloo. I'm like, boy.
Oh, dude, you should put me on speaker. I would have talked to Zero about it. Yeah, but the best thing about this game though is honestly because right now I'm kind of just I can go into an area and kind of pretty much do what I need to do at this point. I can do whatever I want to at this point. Once you get to a certain point in the game, you can come back to an area, basically fuck around, and fight who you need to fight. If you want to get people leveled up to a certain level to kind of progress in the game, you can. So it's the better part. So right there, we actually, I mean, these are champion level Digimon, and they're still leveling up pretty simply just by doing that. Also, one of the downsides about this game is that you have to save manually. You have to save manually. If you do not, you will lose all of your progress, and you'll be pissed off very badly. There is no autosave. Like this game kind of this game kind of forgot the autosave feature of basically any game that came before it.
And there are some times that like some games don't need it. Well, I mean, don't need it, but like some games like they're built around that system.
JRPGs need it. It's because it's super annoying.
Sure.
Like if you go into an area that you don't know anything about and you lose the fight, well, guess what? You probably have to go through the whole dungeon over again. That's just, I mean, that's just how JRPGs are.
Can you not just save like whenever you want?
You can.
See, in there, that you just need to save more.
Yeah,
But like,
you could say more. I've never lost a fight yet since I've been here, but I know some people don't know the game as well as I do. Yeah, so I almost actually lost one of the early, there's like a arena cup championship where you fight like 6 Digimon trainers and you have to beat them. I thought I was going to lose one of them actually, but I still have not. So I technically have not actually suffered a defeat in this game yet, even on the main story. I thought one of the guys had actually beat me in the story mode, and I clowned his ass. So we're kind of going for the undefeated streak right now, but which will actually help if I get the unlimited EXP thing, because I'll be broken as shit. But essentially, it's just basically, this game is similar to Pokemon in that fact that you want to train up in Digivolve as much high-level Digimon as you possibly can. That's basically the goal of the game, while going through the game's story mode, which I kind of had to say, as someone that played the original game and that played this game, and seeing how I'm on pretty much not even the 5th chapter, the story is actually very interesting. And if you don't know anything about Digimon, you don't have to. That's the best part about the story for this game. You don't have to understand a damn thing about the world, and you can still enjoy it. So and I can kind of tell, because even if I didn't know a damn thing about Digimon, and I picked this game and I plug it into the PS4 for the first time, I still had a good time. I'm still having a good time, and I don't even have all my Digimon even remotely leveled up. I'm just kind of going through the story mode, and it actually appeals to kind of a good audience too. You have kind of the hardcore Digimon fans where they want to try to level up their guys, maxed out, looking badass, like ultra level, fucking solar system splitting Digimon fuckers. And then you got, maybe the people who are not really basically into that. They're kind of more into like the, trying to relive the anime, which you can very well in this game. Because you can basically just Digivolve whenever you want to. You go to the Digibank and Digivolve your guys, Digivolve them back down. Whatever you want to do to them, you can basically do. And there's also instances where you basically did you ever see any of the episodes of Saint Seiya or anything like that?
Not really.
So in Saint Seiya, there's basically you have the different cloths. They have the kind of the bronze, silver, gold, god cloths, all this sort of stuff. So if you think about it like that, it's basically armor that they get. The Digimons are basically like that, except it's just basically a higher steps in evolution for them. So they start out at Training 1, Training 2, Rookie, Champion, Mega, Ultra. Basically what they just keep going up towards. And the game does kind of actually encourage you to be like, hey, we know your Digimon's not quite high-leveled enough yet, but if you keep investing in it, it will become broken. That's what the game does really well. That's what the first game does really well. That's what this game does really well. It basically says, if you want to really invest in getting something that looks cool, Digimon that's and actually is strong and will carry you for a very long time, pretty much through anything, this will be your main guy, you can invest in them, and they will turn out like that, fully. So, the game rewards you heavily for sticking with one guy. If you have one guy that you're super devoted to, and you're like, man, this is my dude, this is my day one bro. And the game's like, oh, really? That's your day one bro? Okay, well, you won't mind investing in him, will you? And if you say yeah, the game's like, alright, well, you're about to get broken as fuck. Because,
Interesting.
The game realizes that, because if you level up in an incorrect way, you will never use your starter. Because the guys that you end up getting after your starter, they're actually a lower level, but if you level them up, they actually become a higher level cap. Everything has a level cap. if you are digivolving and digivolving, you can increase your level cap by the amount of level that you gain or the level that you lose, and that basically determines what your level cap is when you digivolve. And so let's say if you have like a level 1 Digimon that's like a training level 1, you level up to 5, which is the max, and then you level up to a training level 2. The max level is now 13 instead of 5. But if you max your training 2 out to level 13, and then you digivolve to your first form, your max level first form is going to be like in the 30s. So that incentivizes you to actually digivolve, train your guys back up again, digivolve until you actually meet your level requirements or your stat requirements for whatever you have to do. Because there are stat requirements for leveling up into the stronger types. So you kind of have to keep an eye on that and kind of see what your personality is, what your training types is. But that's a video for another day, because that goes into a whole science of farming and making sure you have the right stats and stuff for the right builds, which is just kind of goes down into a rabbit hole. But essentially, after that, what you do want to try to do, or at least what I'm trying to do, is basically go into like if you go into too many fights, you know, your Digimon actually have a combo system in this game. So you have like a combo, or things that will combo into each other for like Digimon who just use like regular basic attacks, and wow, they actually got damaged. That's unbelievable. I actually not have had damage in like 30 minutes, and we took our first bit of damage. It was like one of my guys missed. So this game, but playing this game actually reminds me of something. So I think we were talking about, Dyer, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So I think I've been ranting for a little bit, honestly, versus actually.
Yeah, there's not really much I can really say for that stuff. I don't really get that stuff.
Yeah, that was just, it's just basically introduction to most of it. But without me getting too much into story mode, just my thoughts on this game so far. This game's really good. If you like JRPGs, pick it up. It's so good. The first one's really good. If you want to play the first one, just to get kind of feel into, you know, kind of the stuff that's going on, you can. Because I'm not gonna lie, this game's a little bit harder than the first one. The first one's a little bit more kind of streamlined. It's a little bit better as far as like getting people into it, because it has less Digimon you have to worry about, less kind of bonfoonery about the map, so you have to worry about. But it's still really fun. Check it out. This game is for people who've actually played the first one, want to get into it, and are going to be interested in picking up another game like it. So, this is what the game was. This game's, I mean, the first one was I think the first one was a 9 out of 10. I really do. The story is fantastic. The story is not kiddie in these games. I just got through a mission on this game where the girl that I'm traveling with just got put in the hospital because there's something wrong with her fucking brain or something like that, where she's like coughing up blood and shit.
Oh dang.
So if you thought this was if you thought this was your dad's Pokemon, you thought wrong. So, you know, it's just...
That's the thing that I wish Pokemon would do, make it a little bit more older, like more mature. Yeah, that's like, the whole kid-friendly Pokemon's kind of losing its luster for a lot of people.
Well, that's kind of weird, because Ash actually just won his first tournament ever, his first Pokemon Championship.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's still kiddie.
Yeah, it is. It's still... So that's the thing that Digimon was never afraid to do, that I actually liked. Digimon... So the whole purpose behind the show was basically just, you know, get right to the digital world, see how that is, and then fight the big bad guy at the very end. Well, they didn't really explain the anatomy of Digimon until the very kind of towards more of the later versions of it. So, when you actually destroy Digimon, you actually don't really kill it. It doesn't actually die. The data for it actually goes back into the digital world and creates an egg. The egg turns into...
I remember that from the TV show.
The egg basically turns into the training worn form of the Digimon. And that's how it starts, like, basically, if you want to say, I guess, gaining experience or developing a bond with its trainer. Or if it just being able to grow in general. And then starts to go into training 2, rookie, champion, mega, back to ultra again. They have the ultra evolution. So it's kind of interesting in that aspect too, because it's almost like they're immortal, but they're not. Like there are some Digimon that actually can maintain their memories of when they were destroyed after they digivolve back to that form, after they're reborn as an egg. So it's almost like reincarnation of memories, not necessarily a reincarnation of a body, but sometimes their memories will be actually still there. Which is super fascinating. It makes them have a personality, essentially.
Sure.
So that's what's actually very interesting. And you can even see it in this game. There are certain Digimon that actually have personalities. If you interact with them, there's some that are really sweet, there are some that are just super aggressive, and there are some that really want to like learn about humanity. There's like one of them that's you do a quest for in the very beginning of the game, and it's basically a Digimon called Airdramon. They're basically flying dragon-like Digimon. They actually really like humans. They do not mind humans at all, going into the digital world or the digital space. However, the environment that you encounter them in, you basically have to fight one because the Digimon hackers have captured them and started selling them on the black market. And one of them got free because the cages were too small. So you basically fight the Digimon, he basically explains to you why he leaves. You go back to the guys that had them in the cages and say, all they want is a bigger cage, and they'll go wherever you want them to go. And they said, yeah, we can do that. So they basically built the cages bigger, so the Airdramon have enough room to fly around. And so the Airdramon are so loyal to humans, they don't even mind being sold on the black market. It's just one of the stories in the game that's very interesting. You actually get to learn a little bit more about like what each Digimon actually likes and what they don't like. Because even that, like Pokemon aren't that way. But Pokemon don't give a shit what you like or don't like. They basically say one word and it's their name, unless you're Mewtwo and you actually have a vocabulary, and then you actually can talk back to people. This game, the Digimon actually can communicate with you. They'll let you know how they feel. If you say something to them that you don't like in one of the dialogue choices, they'll be like, oh, well that kind of sucks, you don't agree with me. So it's actually kind of neat. It's actually very interesting. At least I think so. From that aspect. I mean, how many JRPGs do you know of where not only will your Digimon talk back to you, but your opponents and the Digimon you meet in the wild, the creatures you meet in the wild actually communicate with you, as well as human beings you actually encounter in the digital world. So, really interesting. I think Dai should pick it up. Anybody who's watching the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Make Dai buy the game. But because that way we can do the 2-on-2 matches online.
I probably won't pick it up just because I know the type of games I get interested in and things I don't. And I try getting back into Pokemon and all that stuff, and it just doesn't hold my attention. Maybe one day if it's like super cheap or something.
Oh yeah, this was I picked it up for like $10-$50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may. Who knows? Some point. I just got Borderlands, so I'm not really thinking about buying anything else.
you're in the same. Dai's actually in the same position that I am for money this week. It sounds like because I just got through dropping a lot of money this last week and this week, and I told him I was like, there's no way I can pick up Borderlands. I was like, I have enough money to actually be able to trade in Greedfall and get this to keep my attention.
Exactly. No, I kind of figured, like, it's either I don't want to. I'm not going to say I feel bad for it anymore, but like, last time I recommended a game to Aries, it was Greedfall, and it was a good game. It's just just not what it could have been, and we thought that you could be able to. It isn't. I don't know. It didn't really offer as much replayability as we thought it would have, and it kind of only supports one way of playing.
But I feel I feel in your defense though, like this was not the first game that this has happened to both of us for. I think the game I think the first game that we recommended to each other in actually getting was No Man's Sky, and we ended up both pre-ordering that.
I remember that.
Super excited about that. I think I remember while we were still doing the RA stuff, that I actually called you. I think after. Well, no, you called me. You called me
because, like I said, like I was trying to find you in the world or something.
Yeah, we were trying to find each other in the world, but I think by that time, we asked both each other if we beat the game already. We said yes. We had both gotten to the center of the universe, and we both got teleported our ass back out. And by that time, I think we were like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, we should be able to find each other, and.
Yeah,
that's when we realized we couldn't, and that was where we kind of lost our shit, I think. And
a lot of people lost their crap at that game. Yeah, a lot of trust was lost.
Because I know,
and Greedfall is not a big. It's not a catastrophe like No Man's Sky was.
It was nowhere close.
No means.
Yeah.
Not trying to compare. We're just trying to say that hey, we had expectations and
they were let down.
Met some of them, just not all of them.
Yeah, just not all.
Yeah, but No Man's Sky was a complete tragedy.
Now, yeah, because that's why I don't remember what I don't know if I actually did a video on. I don't think I did a video on No Man's Sky. That might have been before I actually started streaming, but
I think it was before we started streaming.
Yeah, so essentially, what I had in mind for No Man's Sky was basically what they had actually talked about, not what we actually got. And then once we kind of separated from what we actually got to what was there, it was really just kind of hard to kind of accept it as it came out versus going in and like expecting certain stuff from Greedfall, maybe not necessarily getting it, but we still ended up getting a decent game. That, however, I still finished. I refuse to finish that game.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Dai did because you actually have a better.
That was a disappointing ending.
I mean, I feel for you, but I'm not gonna finish that game. But at the same time, I still appreciate it.
For what it did, it was still probably one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time.
Yeah, which is sad because like it's still one of the best ones I've played in a while. But
yeah,
goddamn, I can't even finish
could see myself picking it up again at some point in the future, or if it like had a sale.
If it does DLC and it's had about a year's worth of material added onto it, at that point, yes, I might do it again. But yeah, just. Right now. I mean, I've already talked about my review. I don't feel like there's really need.
No more going back. Yeah, we're gonna look forward.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny. A lot of people have been doing videos on it, and I just, what makes me upset is like, there's just not been a lot of honesty with a lot of these reviewers on the game. 7, 8. I can get that from a lot of people. I'm totally down for that score. Yeah. Do not disagree with it in the slightest. I feel like the reason why our scores are so low is
because we actually got past the 20-hour mark.
but people didn't seem to talk about how repetitive things got and how just they just became walking simulators, which is something I'm really still upset about. Like it's like that was a huge problem, and I'm not seeing anybody talk about it. But they talk about other games, but not in this game.
But I mean, after 20 hours of the game, I mean, it's actually a running simulator until the end of the battle.
Terrible.
And
I mean, you weren't even like I don't know where your part of the story you were in.
I actually did finish watching a walkthrough for the end of the game.
What'd you think?
So I didn't finish it. Well, I know it's just one of the other endings for it. So, but
what'd you think of the ending? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I just still feel like there wasn't really any big. Oh wow, this fucking happened at the end of the game. Like there was nothing like that for me. And
sure.
So, I mean, I still think you should give the developers your money for the game because you can tell they still worked hard on it. I mean, again, 30-man team, probably very limited resources that they actually had for this project. That whoever's investing in them gave them that amount, and for about the first 20 hours, I'd say. I'd even say 24. I'd say a whole day.
I would say a whole day.
A whole day's worth of you actually playing the game is going to be worth it. Because we kind of did the stupid thing, or I did the stupid thing, where I grinded so much because I'm used to it in RPGs. Because I actually want my guys to be broken before I actually get slaughtered. I did it in Greedfall. I'm going to do it in this game for damn sure, because this game's actually one of the hardest JRPGs I think of all time, honestly, because it's so fucking cheap. And Kingdom Hearts 2, for people who've seen my streams on that and my speedrun on that, even the one that got cut short because I glitched the game because I was doing so good in it.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
I still can't believe that shit. I think I'm gonna delete that video. I'm so pissed off of that video. Literally Simba, the chosen one. He made me probably gonna instantly.
You're the chosen one.
You'll set your best to the force and destroy it. But it was literally that. The sad thing about it though is that side note from this entire stream, the reason why people get nervous in speedruns when you actually summon Simba, at any point when you summon him, he can crash the game.
Really?
Nobody knows why.
He's that unstable?
Nobody knows actually why that happens, but whenever you summon Simba in the original KH1, or
it's a surprise mechanics coming back,
or the 1.5 HD remix, the actual patched version of the game, he will still has the potential to crash the game.
Surprise!
It's just something they never,
am I right?
They never fix it. It's just like how Square Enix messed up the Luxord fight.
It's in the game.
I don't know if you watched where I tragically died during my speed run. It's literally the only time, I shit you not, I've done that fight 100 times over. In all of my runs, in all of my playthroughs of Kingdom Hearts 2. That's the only time I've ever died to Luxord during the KH2 fight. It's the only time I've ever died. Only time I've ever died during it. I was so pissed. If you go back and watch my stream of the end of my KH2 run, you can probably just through my voice how legitimately pissed off I am that I died during the fight.
I would have been upset. I don't. The devs swear it wasn't even your fault. Is like oh my god. When the game glitches, there's just nothing worse.
Because I did that fight perfectly at the very beginning, and because he did a different set that I was predicting for the RNG for the game, I die. Like there's absolutely nothing you can do. It's like it's so stupid, and Square Enix didn't finish it because they only did they did like no, they did 4 patches for the game when it released on HD on PS4. They did 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4. The 1.2 version broke the fight to where he just turns you into the ice form automatically, and if you don't fight correctly, and if you don't get out of the dice form, you lose the fight because you're so underleveled that he'll just delete you in like 3 hits. Even on beginner mode.
Balanced.
Even on beginner mode, which is what I did my speedrun on, because it's faster. Actually, no, it's not faster. It's actually the same type of. It's the same length as critical mode. Because beginner only damage it out damages critical mode maybe like 5% damage, so it's a little bit faster. But still, it's just not fair. Like Square Enix made the fight not fair through the actual like the actual boss fight itself. It's just not fair anymore. The thing they did keep during the speedrun, and they actually kept what I looked at from the guys who actually hacked the Digimon Cyber Sleuth in this game, Hacker's Memory, is that they did not actually patch this game from the PSP version. And so some of the exploit, that's why you can do the EXP exploit, that's why you can do the money exploit, that's why you can do a bunch of exploits that are on the PSP that they carried over to the PS4, because Bandai Namco is actually smart. They realize that people like the exploits in the game and they want you to continue to use it, and that's why whenever they patch the game, they literally made damn sure that you can use the EXP exploit throughout the game to level up your Digimon faster and more efficiently, essentially. Not necessarily faster, because there are certain areas you go to where they won't level up faster. But if you do a fight towards the end game dungeon and you have a Digimon that's like training level 1, you'll level up instantly. Like it'll go to the next level, and for that, Bandai Namco actually needs. I will give a clap to Bandai Namco for actually keeping the game code that they originally had for the PSP into Cyber Sleuth and into Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory for it, because they actually listen to people in the game. It's one of the very few times that Bandai Namco has actually done it. The only other 2 times they've actually done it is for Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur. That's the only other times they've actually kind of kept some of the stuff for the original game. Sadly, they didn't do it for Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, like Road to Boruto, Naruto. Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, they didn't do that, and they ended up doing it through the last patch that I played of Naruto to Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 that they ended up doing, and even the competitive, there's the competitive scene still for Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. There's a actual competitive scene for it because of the patch that they did, and a lot of people don't know that. It's kind of the Grey Goose of Bandai Namco games that they ended up doing. But this game kind of falls suit of that, and that's what I actually like about the game, is that Bandai Namco actually took the wax out of their ears and actually listened to the to what people were wanting in the game. So it's actually pretty interesting. And so even this fight that I'm doing right now, still fair. You know, it's still reasonably fair. I'll take damage from, well, you know, whatever. And I know my Digimon they're gonna rank up at the end of the match, but it's still a grind. So that's what I kind of like about it, is that they still have the grinding aspect of leveling up the Digimon and not making it too. I still think to this day it's one of the hardest JRPGs that I've ever encountered, because I played Earthbound. I played, which is one of the classic JRPGs that come from the East, and I beat that. I beat it multiple times actually. Fire Emblem, original Fire Emblem, and Sacred Stones, and Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. I still have not bought the Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I'll probably end up playing. I will not be streaming it though, because I do not have the online pass for the Nintendo Switch. But I don't know if I'm gonna do it. It costs me a lot more money than I'll actually be willing to stream it, compared to people like who actually have Smash streams. If you want to see any type of Smash videos or streams, GR Smash, Dragon Smash, VGBC, which stands for Video Game Boot Camp. They'll still have a lot of Smash updates for, like, they do random stuff. Greatest, best reads in Smash Ultimate, or craziest combos in Smash Ultimate, or stuff like that. Dai, you probably have a lot of fun going through some of those, because they have snake combos.
Mm-hmm.
Like solid snake combos, which are really sick. If you wanna look at those and fight me at them, I can teach you some of those when we duel in real life, duel for your grandfather's soul. But the aspect of that is kind of interesting. Just kind of going through that. I'm surprised you never actually have sought my guidance in being a better Smash player. I'm kind of
because I don't have a Switch, or I don't really care to play it, honestly. I don't know, it's just a game I just never really wanted to get into a lot.
Yeah, but
I'm not big on fighting games.
Yeah, we were talking about how it was the last time me, you, and another guy that was playing Smash with us that night. Ryan. We were playing that night. And I think I was trying to explain some of the stuff that kind of went into it. Like, I try to explain, like, J-Stars to you, but you eventually figure that out on your own for, like, you know, good strategies on J-Stars. We kind of did a tag team on that because we were both trying to figure that out together. And so there's that kind of aspect that we had the bonding over for Victory Versus Plus for J-Stars, and we kind of figured out what we needed to do for the strategy to beat, like, different teams and different, like, setups. Because the hardest one we had was Hiei and Zebra and Frieza, the ultimate, get us fucked.
Mm-hmm.
One that we did. And I think the next time that I actually come down, I definitely want to do one of those.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we have a kind of a ceremonial thing where we either play.
Oh, it's J-Stars is always at least a part of, for at least a good few hours.
Yeah, so we get frustrated during it, but it's still really fun. We have tons of fun with that game, and to me, if I do I never actually did a Jump Force review. I never actually did one. I kind of realized that, so I might actually do one in the future. If you actually see my Jump videos, I made people rage 3 times during my stream.
I was there. I saw it.
And it was me, you, and somebody else that was tuning in to the stream. Yeah, we saw the rage quits on that, and it was just to show how unbalanced the game is. it's still unbalanced. They have All Might, they have Bakugo, they have some folks from Hunter
Have you
x
played
Hunter.
All Might?
No, I had not played All Might or Soto Kaiba, because in order for you to get those characters, you have to have bought the season pass.
Dang.
You can't buy them individually. You have to have bought the season pass, and that's the only kind of thing that sucked about the game. Whereas J-Stars Victory Versus had all the characters in there, and you could buy them through like the points that you gain during the time, and that's what kind of separated, for me at least, the fun aspect of J-Stars Victory versus Jump Force. We could do split screen. That was kind of the big kind of example that I thought of whenever we would do, whenever we do the stream or whenever we do matches. There's I think there's just a video of me and you versus each other. I don't think we
Probably,
actually,
yeah.
There's one on my channel. If you want to check out my channel, for those of you watching, where we actually do a J-Stars Victory versus stream, where we kind of did that for a little bit, and that was kind of fun. But it kind of goes into the choice that we kind of talk about on my channel, on your channel, about just, whenever games give you a choice, that's when the game really starts to open up. And J-Stars Victory Versus actually gives you a choice on if you want to do split screen versus the CPUs at max rank, or if you want to do just one-on-one duels. And I'm actually pissed off that you found the Naruto loop. I'm actually super pissed off that you found the Shadow Clone Jutsu. The Shadow Clone. The Shadow Clone. I wish. I don't know if we actually recorded it, but there's a good glitch in the game. I actually found there's only 2 characters that have it. So
it's a glitch in the system.
It's
in the Matrix.
It's in the Matrix, yeah. So there's one with Naruto that Dai actually does on me that I'm still super pissed off at, where Naruto just brings up the Shadow Clone. It's 70 damage. Like, it's literally 70% damage that you do to a character, and there's nothing you can do about it. However, there's a character that we didn't really play with a whole lot, with either of us, that actually has one of them. That's a full infinite glitch combo. Guess who has it?
It's nuts. Naruto.
Guess who's the other character that has a actual death combo? That actually kills you at 100%.
Sasuke.
Nope.
Kenshiro.
Nope.
I don't know.
Monkey D. Luffy.
That sounds about right.
He has a
It's always a
infinite.
protagonist.
Yeah, it's a protagonist combo. Like, he literally has a Monkey D. Luffy infinite dash combo. Where if you keep dashing, if you have full dash bar during that game, if you actually have the actual like damage buff for friendship, because you can choose your like friendship buff or alone buff or whatever it is. If you choose a friendship buff, Luffy has a infinite combo where he will kill you at 100% health.
Yeah. Because it just works.
And guess what? You know how you can choose like 100, like just 100, regular health. You can go to 160, I think, or 140% health. It still works.
Dang.
So no matter what health you choose, the Monkey D. Luffy infinite combo still works. Cause you know how, like, if you take a certain amount of damage in J-Stars, you'll go invincible. For like a time being, your character will get knocked down to the ground, and they'll pop back up with like a little bit of health left if you take too much damage. J-Stars didn't really account for the Monkey D. Luffy or the Naruto spam, and especially the infinite stamina drain for like Momotaro, like the little hurricane thing that he can use. That'll just delete your stamina. And Dai actually used it on me one time, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Broken.
I figured it out now, but at the time I did not know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know. And this game actually has a similar thing to it with the XP bonus, where you just keep, even if you fight low level monsters, like low level Digimon, you'll still get max rank on your low Digimon, and you'll just rank them up. It's absolutely stupid. And
Lilith can just come over to my house anytime she wants. Sorry, distraction.
dang.
Borderlands 3. Anyway, continue on.
So some other stuff about this game that I found was interesting was so if you look at the menu right here, you have what is called a BBS, which is your quest essentially. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 that I actually have not done to advance the story. I'm going to do the side quest first before I actually go into the big one, because I still want to get that Platinum Numon to do the XP raid, essentially. But we're going to be doing those. That will probably progress us a little bit further into the game, and will get me my memory up, because your memory is not the best at this point in the game. You basically have to go through a lot of your memory actually is related to your rank as a sleuth or as a investigator. And the more you increase your rank, the more memory you're able to add toward your rank as a Digimon catcher, essentially. And so that basically has most of that in the game. But what really kind of threw me off was that this game has a very similar element to Battlefront 2, which I did not realize until I started playing. Which was that the more points you get towards your main class, which is your sleuth rank, is going to be your way to upgrade your abilities to carry more Digimon, your abilities to have more Digimon in your party, and even lower rank or higher rank. Like you could potentially have a couple of mega evolution Digimon in your party to actually go toward this. So I know we're actually on the 1 hour mark, which is what I did not expect this video to be at, because we've been talking about a bunch of other stuff. But I've only got to chapter 4 on this game. I can already tell you to go ahead and pick it up. There are very few games where I think I can now say to go ahead and pick it up. For just games that you want to try on the PS4 or Xbox One, whatever it is. But this game, if you're looking for a JRPG itch that you've been willing to scratch, since my old JRPG days of going through Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, which I still kind of want to pick up the remastered Final Fantasy VIII, but my money loss has been too big to where I can't pick it up, but I think I eventually will. And once I do that, it's game fucking over. I'm gonna grind the shit out of that game. But essentially, if you're looking for that kind of Pokemon / itch that you're not getting with Pokemon, or you're not getting with any of the Final Fantasy games, you can definitely pick this game up. You'll spend probably at least 40 to 80 hours on Digimon alone. Not even the quests. With the quest, you're probably looking at about 100 hours. that's remarkable nowadays. Um, I mean, I spent pretty much 24 hours on Greedfall, and I didn't get the amount of content that's in this game. Yeah, this came out. This was on the PSP. Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable, and so if you're looking for something that's going to keep you busy for a good bit of time too, go ahead and pick this game up. Or if you have not played the first one, hell, pick up the first game. Pick up Cyber Sleuth and just grind that shit. I mean, you can literally do a lot of stuff that you're going to do in this game. I know the same thing could probably be said about Borderlands 3. I mean, you can probably speak a little bit more on that, than I can, since I have not played Borderlands 3. But I know you're having tons of fun with that game, and
Oh
that's
yeah, for
probably
sure.
got hours and hours and hours and hours of content on that. I would say
Oh yeah.
you probably haven't even scratched 30 hours on the game because
Not yet,
when
for
did you pick
sure.
it up?
Probably the next day after I did my review. So when did we do the review?
We
I
did
can't remember honestly.
your review. I think we did on Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, I've had it for like maybe I got it Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. So I mean, just
Fun game.
yeah. So I mean, even off that, I mean, you still have a kind of you know uh, an incentive to go get that essentially. Um, but this game, the game's also very fair too. Um, with this game, essentially, um, the the aspect of leveling up your Digimon, having to evolve them maybe once, because this game is better about evolving your Digimon versus the other game. Cyber Sleuth, you kind of had to, you probably had to digivolve at least 2 or 3 times to get where you wanted to be.
Mhm.
This game is not like that. This game is like you digivolve, maybe once or twice, and you're gonna get your mega or ultra evolutions, which makes the game a lot faster. It makes it more satisfying. You're able to get your Digimon that you want, and start, the EXP grinding there. And the best part is that if you do the EXP farm right, you can have 3 platinum Numemon on your team, and you will EXP gain the shit out of everybody in your party. I mean, it's ridiculous. Especially towards like chapter 11. I've been told that, chapter 11 is where the game kind of gets really just crazy. The story kind of just hypes up to a pretty good level. It's
Astronomical proportions.
similar to the original Cyber Sleuth. That's when the game kind of starts going off the rails. Um, and of course, by that time you're fighting Ultra Evolution Digimon, because there are certain Digimon that have a special status in the kind of the Digimon lore, where they're like Knights of the Round Table, essentially. There are certain Digimon that have reached Knight status, and one of those is Omnimon, which is crazy to get, but I ended up getting that in the original Cyber Sleuth. I still have my save data. I checked my my PS4 save data, and I actually had the my data for Cyber Sleuth still there. So if I ever got that game, I would still have my Cyber Sleuth save data there, and I could show you kind of what the craziness of that was. But the variety of party members that you can have in your party is crazy on that. Um, you basically get a lot of stuff um, from kind of that, but you can go through the entire story mode again because of the start screen of the game. There's a new game, continue, and then there's a new game plus. The new game plus is after you beat the game, you can carry your save data over from your original start file into that file, and you could actually go through the entire story again with your overpowered characters, which is again, it's just about choice, you know. Uh, Bandai Namco did a really good job about just giving you the choice for this game. It's really good, and especially because you can digivolve into different Digimon. There's not just one set path that your Digimon can take. You can have multiple Digimon they can evolve into. So, like my rookie, for example, it didn't have to go into Cluckmon, my original starter champion. It can go into, 4 or 5 different champion level Digimon that I can level up into Mega or Ultra level Digimon. So you can choose, if you want, let's say, you're digivolving and you don't want a data type anymore. You want a vaccine type Digimon. Well, if you meet the requirements for it, sure, digivolve it up. Congratulations, you got that guy at, maybe max rank 57. Digivolve it, level it back up, go back into the mega form that you had. After you meet the mega form requirements, you go back into an ultra or a mega evolution, and that's where the game kind of shines a little bit. That you can have multiple Digimon with multiple perks, multiple skills, multiple stuff like that. You can have multiple party members with different skills, different types, different attributes, like if they're fighter, or if they're a searcher, or if they're a researcher. And so that's kind of the thing that I think I was missing for a while in some of my aspects of wanting a more progressive evolution system in my RPG system that I was kind of hungering for. And I know Borderlands is kind of doing the same thing. You have your different classes, but they can branch out into different classes and different abilities. That once again, you should check out my boy Professor Diehard's video on that, because I watched it the other day and that was spectacular. He actually did a very good job of explaining the game and some of the problems.
I definitely want to do another video at some point for sure.
If you do it tomorrow, you should do it. So I'll probably be streaming too tomorrow. But I feel like ever since the Greedfall review, I've been kind of down on my streaming, just because a bunch of stuff been happening to me, and this game was just it was just a fresh air. I mean, really, it just was. It was a complete breath of fresh air, and I really enjoyed it.
Sure.
But we're almost at the 2-hour mark, actually, on my.
Sometimes you just need a breath of fresh air,
Yeah,
Nothing
and
wrong with it.
this game is kind of really not necessarily delivered it to me. It's just kind of reminded me of what happens when gameplay gets put first and story gets put first over some of the quest aspects of RPGs and gaming and stuff. If for those of you who played Kingdom Hearts 2, you probably remember the quest before the second visit, or actually the third visit to Hall Bastion. Because the first visit, like you have Valor Form, you're going through, you're meeting the organization members as they pop up. The second time you go into Hall Bastion is just basically to get you introduced into Winnie the Pooh, that world essentially. Hall Bastion 3, for those of you who played the original KH2, and for those of you who played the KH2 2.5 remix, it becomes a whole different game at that point, because that's your first introduction into Tron's world. You've beat one of the organization members like full on, like face to face. You fight the 1,000 Heartless fight. you have basically your motivation to complete the rest of the game by defeating some of the other organization members. 2.5 Remix lets you go into the fights for the other organization members that were in Chain of Memories that are in there. It just turns into a whole different game, honestly. And if you watch my streams on where I actually did the incentives, even though nobody donated to my channel, but I still did the incentives because I appreciate my viewers. And I did those fights, and but it just turns into a whole different game. And Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hackers Memory and Digimon Cyber Sleuth is one of those games where it does the same thing. Once you get to a certain chapter, things start amping up. You learn more about the characters that you're kind of fighting alongside. The best thing about this game is that the NPCs that you fight alongside you are broken as fuck. You never have to worry about really dying while you have one of your party members with you because their Digimon are so higher level than yours, and they don't have an actual health bar. They're just kind of there. They help you out a lot. It kind of reminds me of the Final Fantasy fights in Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know if you remember that where if you're playing Kingdom Hearts 2, there's the fight after Demyx, where you fight with Yuffie, Tifa, Squall, and Cloud, and they basically introduced that fight to you just to kind of like, be like, oh hey, you're fighting alongside the Final Fantasy characters. What they don't tell you is that on a higher difficulty, they do a lot for you. Like the Yuffie, Leon, Tifa, Cloud fights, they actually help you out because they know you don't have a party member with you, and they will keep you alive. I actually seen some speed runs of other professional people that actually speed run the game for a living, and at the very end of the fight, they just let Cloud do the rest of the part of the fight because he does Omni Slash. He just deletes everything in his path, and you literally see them standing at the point of the spawn point for the rest of the story, and they basically just the Cloud just goes off. It's ridiculous. The 2.5 remix, you have other fights. You have the Data Organization fights. You have the Lingering Will, which was Terra before Birth by Sleep actually came out. One of the original Keyblade Masters. I don't think you ever told me. Do you actually ever finish Birth by Sleep? Like even Terra's part for Birth by Sleep.
I'm sorry, I've not been paying attention. I've been doing this. What was going on?
Whenever you actually, I know for a time you had the 2.5 remix that you
I barely played it.
So
they're just too dated for me.
Yeah, but you do like Revenge of the Sith, like the episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, like just the Star Wars movie. Basically, Terra's story is episode 3. Where like he starts out as a good guy, turns over to the dark side, confronts Palpatine, which in Kingdom Hearts is Xehanort, and kind of goes from there. But I mean, the story is just fantastic at that point. It's actually heartbreaking too. It's one of the very few RPGs where I've seen all the protagonists lose. They just lose. No matter how much you level them up, like you'll still be the boss, but the story's the same, and you'll lose. And that's what the best thing about Birth by Sleep was, and that's what the best part about this game, the original chapter of Cyber Sleuth, is that you don't really feel like you're winning. Sometimes you feel like you're kind of getting shit on a lot. So this kind of interesting aspect of that, but Anyway, I feel like my video's gotten probably too long for this one at least, but I really just want to do a stream on this game just to kind of get the game out there, show how, what some of the aspects of it are, the kind of the basic aspects of it are. But pretty much most of what I had as far as that. If you want to check out some of our thoughts on some of the debacle going around 2K20 and some of the history behind the loot boxes and DLC and stuff like that, check out Professor Diehard's channel once again, because we did a really good video on that yesterday. And like, comment, subscribe on his channel. Also this channel, Aries Game Productions. Like, comment, and subscribe if you don't mind. But that's pretty much about all I have for this video. I'll probably end up streaming this game again tomorrow at some point, but make sure to stay tuned on that and check out my website hard. But that is pretty much it for the drunken steam of this game. But I'll see you guys next time. Deuces, and make sure to see ya.